Hi, my name is Dan Tartaglia and I own a company called Droneability. I do mostly drone work, but I also do camera work as well for different projects. I use Davinci Resolve a lot, and this is a simple, quick video about, well, what if you have a Davinci Resolve project with 100 of photos and videos on it, and you have to resize your photos and realize the photos either are blurry or very low resolution, and they have to be corrected. This video will show you how to quickly correct those photos using Topaz Photo without removing them from the timeline. This is Davinci Resolve. 9 photos in this timeline, but I've had projects where I've had 100 photos along with video clips all mixed together in a timeline, but this is just for an example. These photos can be in separate folders. It doesn't necessarily matter in that case, but let's say you're working in a project in Davinci Resolve and you're adding new photos from different sources. It could be from anybody, it could be from an iPhone, it could be from a camera, different clients, relatives. First thing you really want to do is you want to make this so that it fits the actual 1920 by 1080 zoom here. So I'm just going to make this bigger so it fits the whole screen. I might even make it bigger, and I'll do the same for all these photos. Okay, so I adjusted all the photos, and if you use Davinci Resolve or any of these kind of editors, you go back to the photos I just modified. Some are now blurry, and they could be much more cleaned up as far as the sharpness of it goes, and even the color. But in this case, I'm more concerned about the sharpness. Some are okay, like that one's not too bad. That one's not too bad. That one could be better. Definitely better. And that could be better as well. So let's go through the process of opening the photos, sharpening them, and then replacing the existing ones with the new ones. And I could have 100 different things here in my bin. So to find an image or any of my media, if you right click on it in the timeline, go to Find in Media Pool, and it'll find it for you. If you right click it here and you go down to Open File Location, now it's typically copying and modifying the file from here and then bringing it back into Davinci Resolve, which is really bad workflow. So instead I'm going to do this. I'm going to right click on the photo, open with, and then choose, in this case, Topaz Photo. It could be any editor, any software that can modify a photo to be sharper, or if you want to color grade it, doesn't really matter. It depends on what you want to do, but I'm using Topaz Photo at this point. It's in my list only because I've used it before. If you haven't, and you want to use a software like this, you'd have to go to your icon, your desktop icon, which you can't see right now. Right click on that and go to Open File Location and grab that path to where the exe is and copy it, because I want to be able to have it in this list. So I'm going to right click my photo again, go to Open With, choose another app, and it's just something you have to do once to add it to that list of applications. Choose an app on your PC, paste that path in there, hit enter, and then I'm going to pick Topaz Photo from here. And also just choose just once, because I have other applications that I edit photos with. So it's going to open up Topaz Photo, and off the bat you're going to see it just the way it is here. I think this is the default view, and nothing's changed because I didn't choose autopilot yet. In this video I'm currently using Topaz Photo, So I'm going to make a couple changes here as well in preferences to make this a little bit more better to use. So under edit, preferences, one thing I'm going to change is I'm going to close image after saving. Images will remain open after they're saved. I want them to actually be closed after I save the image, so I'm going to choose that on. Under autopilot, I want, when I launch Topaz Photo, I want it to automatically start working on the photo to make it better. So right now, by default, I believe it's turned off. So I'm going to turn that on. Automatically apply filters. So I'll hit save. So basically what it's going to do is, whenever I open a photo, it's going to have that on. And it's going to do its magic and attempt to make the photo a better photo. And this is what it did with the photo here, which is fine. And over here you can see what it did. So in this case, it used upscale only. If I expand this, so I made it 4 times bigger, it used a AI model called low resolution, and that'll change depending on the photo. Added some denoise and deblur, and that's all it did. It also gives you some suggestions. If you want to add more denoise, you can choose this. If you want to sharpen it more, you can do this. But I think I'm going to keep it the way it is for this example. You could also choose something else. So there's a bunch of other options in here too, including presets if you create your own presets. So right now I'll keep it the way it is and I'll export the image. You can see the image is 4 times larger and it's going to have a different name. So it's not going to overwrite the original image in this case. I'll hit save and we'll put it in the same folder and I'll close, and then I'll just close Topaz. I didn't have to close Topaz, but I closed Topaz. So if I go to the folder here, it is right here. So if I go to, let me get this path here so I have it. And I'm going to right click on this photo here and go to clip operations and then replay selected clip. And I'm going to put that path in there, hit enter, and choose my new photo. So this is the new image that I just modified. So that's one way of doing it. If you want to keep a copy of, if you want to keep copies of ones you changed, then that's a way of doing it. And just for chagrins, let me just move this over here and bring in the old image. So here's the original image. Well, first of all, you can see right now that I scaled this image here, this was not scaled, of course, because it was just brought in. So if I want to scale this image to match this image, if I right-click on this image and I go down to, or go up to copy, pick on this image, and paste attributes. You can choose what attributes to paste. In this case, that's all I really need. Hit apply. So now they match. So it cleaned up the image a little bit here, as you can see, made it a little bit sharper. And we'll delete this image here. And this printing's back over here. So that's one way of doing it. What I don't like about this way is that now I have 2 copies of this image. When I work on a project, I always back up my images anyway. So honestly, I don't want to have multiple copies for this project of this image, of all my images. Just 1 copy's fine, so I have them all backed up. So let's go to the next image here. Very blurry, of course, as you can see. I'm going to right-click on it, go to Find in Media Pool again. Right-click on it here again. Go to Open File Location. And then I'm going to right-click on the image here. Go to Open With. In this case, this is going to be on the list because I chose it last time. Because I made those preference changes, it's automatically going to analyze the image and improve it. Now, for this image here, again, I don't want to have multiple copies, and maybe you do, but I don't. So what I'm going to do is, under Export Image, instead of having it like this, I'm going to remove Topaz here as a suffix. And once you do that, and you disable Add Applied Filters to File Name, you get another option called Allow Overwriting. So now I'm going to overwrite the file instead of making a copy. And of course you get a lot of warnings saying that it can't be reversed, it will overwrite the file, which is what I want. I'll hit Save, and then close the window, and let's just go back to Davinci Resolve. I'll click off the image and back on the image. It's funny how sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't work. In this case, it's not changing the image here. Sometimes it'll just automatically change it to match how the image actually was changed, and sometimes right-click on the image, go down to Clip Operations and replace selected image, and then repick the image again. Now it's sharp again. It's weird that sometimes you don't have to do that, but sometimes you do. Let's try out of curiosity with this one here. So here's a shot of an eagle, and we're going to do the same thing. Find the media pool, and we're going to right-click it here and go to Open File Location, and then right-click it here and go to Open with Topaz Photo, which is already open. And I'm going to export the image. And I'm going to overwrite the original image again. I'm not going to make a copy of it. And close the window and go back to Davinci Resolve. Click off the image and click back on the image. And it's doing the same thing. It's weird how sometimes you don't have to do that. But if it does have to be refreshed, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can either reopen the project, or you could reopen Davinci Resolve, or you could do what I did before, and that is go over here and go back to Clip Operations, and then replace selected clip and just pick the same parts here. Pick the image, hit open, and then sharpens it again. But it's still faster than having to replace the clip manually otherwise. This workflow is all I wanted to show today, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching this video.